What if I told you a man literally pulls a gun, decides to pull the trigger, killing his wife in cold blood, okay? Premeditated. He had opportunity to turn away. There was no self-defense dynamic associated. And then he basically gets a slap on the wrist for doing so, for taking another human being's life. Here it is.
You really want this on video?
I'll pull it. I'm mad enough to pull it. Okay. All right, goodbye, Breeze. Nice to know you. You gonna meet Jesus.
And then he pulled the trigger. Producers, I'm going to play that one more time. I want you to see clearly how calculating this is. There is no question. There is premeditated malice here, which is, by the way, which is the type of crime that garners the most severe penalty, premeditated malice homicide. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Here it is again.
You really want this on video?
I'll pull it. I'm mad enough to pull it. Okay. All right, goodbye, Breeze. Nice to know you. You gonna meet Jesus.
And then he does what he said. Put up the picture full mass. Kerry Birmingham, a Texas man who shot his wife dead on camera. It was all recorded. They had all the evidence. It was discovered that she was having an affair. He only received 10 years for premeditated murder. Put up her picture as well. You see, Mr. Birmingham was sentenced earlier this week after shooting his wife, Patricia, 48 years of age. This crime actually took place in 2021. The reason why it is on Indisputable today is because we believe that there has been a serious miscarriage of justice here. There's an entire human being who was slaughtered, and it was premeditated. Despite all of the evidence, Mr. Birmingham will serve 10 years in prison. He will be up for parole in 5. 5 years, ladies and gentlemen, this man will likely be out. Audio obtained by ABC 13 contained multiple moments of conversation between the two, which became a large part of Birmingham's crime of passion defense. Now, remember, crime of passion means that you are, in fact, not in control of your mental faculties. That's why it's an affirmative defense. The affirmative defense is it was a crime of passion, which means that you were outside of your normative thinking in such a way you could not understand right from wrong. You were in a mental capacity that warrants leniency or a not guilty. That's not what I saw there. There's more. He could be heard saying, "I am done." While Patricia hits back, "I am done too." An ending of the relationship, so to speak. With their conversation becoming more and more heated, Birmingham's defense attorney, Anthony, also said they had pleaded guilty to the all-female jury to convince jurors he had shot Patricia in the heat of the moment. Also told the outlet, quote, "We never tried to justify the actions of our client, but the defense wasn't about justification. It was about why he did what he did." What? This is a whole new defense reality, okay? So it's an all-female jury. They don't get to go to the jury. He gets to plead. He gets to say, "Hey, guilty. Let's get this great deal. 5 years for doing that." There's more. The shooting happened when their daughter, Olivia on the right, was at school. with a couple having a 30-minute argument before the shooting. Speaking on her father's sentencing, daughter Olivia told the outlet, quote, "I lost both my parents that day. My dad died that day too, because the person who did that to my mom and my father are not the same person," end quote. She added, "I don't know. Sudden passion? Question mark. You have to have something. You have to have made that decision within you for a while. I feel like to do something, to do that to someone you really love." Olivia had already addressed her father in court, telling him, quote, "No matter what was said in this trial, you know what type of woman she was, and you know what you did, and how he took away my favorite person in this world." Olivia also testified that she had never witnessed her father physically abuse her mother. She told ABC that she wanted to raise awareness about different types of abuse and that she would never forgive her father for what he did. Put a picture back up. You know, it's selfish as hell what he did. Because regardless of the relationship falling apart, that little girl still deserves her mother. What he did was ultimately selfish and self-seeking for his own emotional benefit. That's it. And he gets a slap on the wrist, can be out of prison in 5 years. This little girl has nobody, a father who has betrayed her to a degree that most of us can't even comprehend. Then to see her mother not get the justice that she deserves from the system that is supposed to be a system of equitable remedy. In a post to social media, Patricia's sister, Mary Dees, said, quote, "My sister was strong and would not back down or show fear to this man. The prosecutors did an outstanding job, and we were just shocked with the verdict. I believe the judge was even shocked. Justice was not given here. My sister did not deserve this. Casey Birmingham is not the victim. Mr. Birmingham is not, in fact, the victim." And I concur. So, how in the world does this happen? I'm going to tell you. Somewhere inside of the heart of humanity, there is room for revenge. And that revenge, let's call it what it is. And that revenge, that criminal act rooted in revenge, somehow gets you a lighter sentence. All right. Mondale, this is a horrible miscarriage of justice. I feel for the daughter. I feel for the family. And this man will likely be out of prison in 5 years. And he committed on camera, cold-blooded, premeditated homicide. What say you?
Yeah, let me prerequisite some of the statements. We should say that, revenge or the fear of revenge or the thought of revenge get you a lighter sentence if you look a certain way in this country.
Yeah.
That's not equally applied. We know that for a fact. Furthermore, there's so many layers that need to be unpacked in here. This daughter said something extremely detailed in her statement. "I never saw my father physically abuse my mother." But then she said, "I want to make people aware of the different type of abuses."
Mm-hmm.
What type of abuse did she witness from this man? Because clearly she's saying that he's done he's capable, or he's acted in a certain way that caused harm to her mom. And she wants the world to know that there may be another pathway from physical abuse to murder. It might just be other types of abuse that leads to murder as well. That was stalking and telling to me as well. Also, right now we have Black people created this thing saying, "Say her name," in honor of Black women that were being killed by the system. White people right now are taking it, making fun of it, playing with it. Specifically, Marjorie Taylor Greene right now talking about this young lady who was killed supposedly by, or allegedly by, a person that was in the country without papers, what they call illegal. Right now, the representative in Texas, Troy, who called Cori Bush's husband a thug, a Black man, a thug, will not say this woman's name. has not said anything about this woman. Marjorie Taylor Greene has not mentioned this woman. So what they're doing is stoking xenophobic fear. And what the world is saying is when white men act in this manner, well, there has to be a reason. And you need to recognize that reason because he is white man. And that's what I see in this case. That's all I see. A constant reminder that America's justice system was set up to make sure that white men were not charged or held accountable. And we see that right now. This is absolutely disgusting. 2 people, 3 people, entire families have been changed because of this man's selfishness. And he's walking out probably in a couple years.
Yeah. We shall see if there's another element of justice applied here, but don't hold your breath. All right.